Facebook, laugh book, put all your business out there book, guilt book, shame book, not your real name book, lie book, hate book, I've never met you in real life book, popularity book, anyone really listening book, sneaking about then you get caught book, prank book, why book, indirect subliminal message book, sex book, spying on your ex book, someone likes a photo and you turn into a pest book, app book, advert book, why not get a life book, not official till it's on the book, watch if you're married because they'll try and take your wife book, creep book, pick a book, what a waste of time book, wake up book, maybe, just maybe, it's fake book. So I want to talk about social media and Facebook. And for someone who is addicted to Facebook, I want to talk about the dangers behind Facebook. Now, it's not all bad. There's some good things to Facebook and social media and some bad things. But I'm going to first focus on the bad things and just raise a few points about Facebook and social media. The problem with Facebook is that people only post 0.5% of your life. And the danger is when you live your life in that fake world. And that's why I call it the fake book of face. And it's a real problem when we don't really know who's listening when we use things like Facebook. And the problem is, for me, Facebook changed when the like button came about. And that for me is when it became a popularity contest. Whereas before people were just sharing pointless, irrelevant things, it became a competition and a popularity contest, which is unfortunately became a lot of the problem. And because of this popularity contest, we now judge people on the amount of friends that we have and the amount of likes that you have. For example, if you just become a friend with someone, you often look at their profile and judge people instantly by how many friends they've got and how many likes they've got. And this became a big problem now. The like button has caused many problems, and it's really funny when you look at the mentality and rules behind likes. You know, you might like someone's status and then a week later you guarantee they'll probably like your status back because of that little mutual like thing that you never actually talk about, but you've got that weird thing. You know, you've got the people who always like your status. There's 5 people that no matter what you put, they're probably gonna like it. That for me is my mum and a few other people that doesn't matter what I put, they're always gonna like something. And there's all these weird unspoken laws about likes and things, but it's became a popularity contest, and we're now judging each other, and it's became a popularity contest, which has caused many problems in social media. Because of this popularity contest, we look and see how many friends we've got, but the question is, how many real friends do we have? You know, you can be Facebook famous, you can have thousands of friends, but in reality, how many real true friends do you have in real life, not on the fake book of face? How many friends do you have in real life? And for me and for a lot of people I know, you can count them on 2 hands. People who know who you really are. People who really care about every single detail of your life and are there for you when the bad things happen and when the good things happen. They want to know everything and not just the important stuff, and they're not just friends with you because you can get something from you. So that's the problem, I think, with Facebook. It's how many real friends do we have. And the real problem with Facebook is the issue of time. And the problem is that it takes so much time. It ruins and steals time. The newsfeed is designed so it never ever ends. So it becomes addictive. So you can always want to find out more and more. And there's always new stuff coming. So if you look at it, you can spend all of your day on Facebook. And it's a big problem when you can become addicted to it. And that was my problem. I was very much addicted to it. And it's time that you never, ever get back. And the thing is with Facebook, it's full of irrelevant, pointless information. 98% of it is probably garbage that we fill our mind with, and it's trash that you don't actually need to know. The irrelevant, pointless information that we get from Facebook. 2% of it maybe you need to get. And the problem is with Facebook is that it's full of gossip, and that's a real big problem, and a place where gossip is all the time. We talk about other people, talk about work, and we rant and gossip, and we look for finding out things in other people's life, and that's the big issue with gossip. But unfortunately, Facebook is all about gossip, and it stimulates a wide range of emotion. If you don't protect the people you've got on Facebook, often you can go on Facebook and straight away, without you controlling it, you can see things which you don't have any control over. So for example, for myself, when I had wrong people on Facebook, and you can see on Facebook people share things, you can't control that. So instantly, if you see a lustful picture, immediately your mind goes there. And if you don't protect your mind, where the mind goes, the man goes. And as a man thinks he is, so he is. And if you see those things, if you see those statuses where it promotes jealousy, it promotes envy, it promotes pride, it promotes lust, those things, the desires of the flesh come straight away, and it gives birth, from the mind it gives birth to sin, and that's where it's conceived, in the mind. And that's the problem. And I feel like with Facebook, if you don't control your mind and don't control what you see, and it's very difficult to do that with Facebook, often you can just become a slave to the things that you see, and your mind becomes overrun with all these things of the world, and that's when you start to give birth to sin, and you have many problems, and you become addicted, and you start getting trapped in this world of sin and the desires of the flesh. and it's a big problem when it comes to Facebook in relationships, and there's many relationship problems come about because of Facebook. And the problem is because it's so easy to message people. You know, you can message people with easy access to that, and that can cause many problems because without you controlling it, someone can speak into your life and cause problems in your life without you controlling that, having any control over that. Now the problem is when you're in a relationship with people, it can make you be a bit crazy, and I know from experience myself, you can look at who liked that picture, who's that person, who's commented on that, who's your friend, and you can become really quite crazy and look at your girlfriend's profile or your ex-girlfriend, for example. You can stalk that, and it can become very dangerous. And the problem is with Facebook, and it's not real life, and anyone can have a personality sitting behind a computer, and it's very dangerous when you start speaking to someone on social media, you know, that you don't really know what that person's like. So anyone can have a personality, and the problem with Facebook is that it's just words, and we can interpret words very differently. You know, you can have capital letters and say, yeah, okay, maybe they're angry, or, you know, but we don't know the tone that someone's speaking in. We don't know the emotions that they're using. So if we're reading a sentence, we don't know how they're saying that, so we can interpret it very differently, and that means that it can lead to many problems because we actually we interpret something which is completely wrong, get the wrong end of the stick just because of words. And I'm worried that the next generation of people can't communicate in real life, and we're going to communicate through screens. And it's obviously a lot easier to communicate through technology, but in real life, what about a real person, what they're really like? What was it like when our grandparents before started to speak to someone? They didn't have the problems that we have with Facebook, of the worries of who's liking someone's status or picture, or inboxing someone directly who's not who's a friend, or you don't know who they are, and it causes these irrelevant, pointless arguments which take so much time and put a massive strain on your relationship. And the problem is that in grandparents' generation, even our parents' generation, they actually spoke to each other in real life. It wasn't over Facebook or WhatsApp or Viber or Instant Messenger or whatever it is, on Twitter, on Instagram or anything. They spoke about real life things, and it became a real relationship. So the danger is when we enter in this fake book, is that it's all fake relationships. And if you have a girlfriend in a real life relationship, we should try and pursue the real life things and not judge it through Facebook. If you're in a relationship with someone, just be very careful with Facebook, and make sure you're open with each other and honest with each other, and don't go into this crazy cycle which a lot of people fall victim to. So we need to live our life instead of posting our lives. Live the real life in this real beautiful world that we created, not in this fake book which takes away our time, takes away many things in our life. And I want to share about the negative side of things on Facebook, but there's also good things, and I'm not just going to rant about the bad things, I'm talking about the good things. Well, it's like anything, there's good and there's bad. You have a choice between good and bad. You can choose if you want to use it for good or for bad. And for good, there's many good things, there's many benefits and positive things on Facebook. For example, you can go around the other side of the world and contact someone and stay in contact with someone. If you meet someone in a different country, you can always stay in contact with them through Facebook. Or you can share pictures with your family or your loved ones or your closest friends. Or you can share information, really good positive things like receiving a new job or having a baby or getting married, or good things like that. You can always share good positive things as well. It's not all doom and gloom, it's not all bad, but it's all about having that balance, and it's about being able to understand if you're addicted and using it for the right things. And for me, it's important that we understand the dangers of things like cyberbullying, the dangers of Facebook when it steals your time. You know, we can spend, you'd be amazed at how many hours you actually spend on Facebook. You know, when you're on the toilet, in a bus, in a car, at work, in your break at lunch or anything like that. You know, you can look at it and you can in the first thing in the morning when you wake up, you go to that news feed straight away. Before you know it, you spend half an hour in bed, you're already half an hour behind time, you don't have time to have breakfast, and immediately you start the day off in a bad way, in a poor way. And unfortunately that has many knock-on effects, and it's amazing how many people are actually addicted to Facebook without realising it. And I want to just raise that awareness out of you. Actually think about how much time you spend on Facebook. Now, it's very dangerous, people who are like 14, 15, 16, so if parents are out there, it's very important that we understand the dangers of Facebook, and make sure you monitor who your kids are speaking to, who your children are speaking to, what they're looking at on Facebook, because everything and anything can come through on Facebook. And as I say before, if it goes in their mind, that's where they become. What you watch, you become. And it's very important that parents put some filters on it, they understand who these people are speaking to, and they're not being led astray, and not being led into being conformed to the ways of the world and worrying about the world. Now, for me, I want to share a little bit about my own personal story. And I was addicted to Facebook, and I used to go into work, and for example, after a weekend, I used to go to a Monday morning meeting, and we'd have like a break, and everyone would be sitting there on Facebook, and I just didn't understand that. Maybe I'd not been in the company all weekend, and everyone would, like, instead of talking to me, telling me what happened, they would just be on Facebook, and everyone would just be looking at it all the time. And when I went to India, and I first of all stopped and didn't have Facebook and didn't have Wi-Fi, that was when my life started to change. That I don't need this. And this world that I had, I didn't have Wi-Fi for like 2 months, and I didn't use Facebook. And I realised that a lot of these people that I thought I was trying to impress and making sure I continued to be in a relationship with them on Facebook, I didn't need those people. And I realised that life it's for living, and I was going to spend time on buses and places, and I was having conversations with people, and I was going to the beach, and I wasn't just looking to post things, I was enjoying the beauty of creation and nature, and I was living life the way it was meant to be, not like taking pictures and videos all the time for other people to share. And it was something for me where I really started to wake up and realise that I was addicted to these things, and there's a big danger with those things. So what I did was I deleted it when I got back for 9 months. That was an extreme thing, but I deleted it, and yeah, I felt like Jason Bourne, but I realised that I didn't actually need it in my life. And I want to challenge people, if you are addicted, maybe you can try and go without it for like a month or 2 months, and you'd be amazed that you can go without Facebook, go without social media. But after that, it's all about putting limits on it, it's all about putting blockers on it. And for me, if I was addicted, what I did was I uninstalled Facebook on my phone, and now I've only got the Messenger app on my phone. So that means that I can still receive direct messages from people if it's important, but then I don't constantly fill my mind with garbage of Facebook all the time. And that's one way I can monitor it, and that's one way I can put boundaries on it. So I can go on my laptop maybe once every day or 2 days, and you can still get the important information that's at the top of your newsfeed that maybe you think you may miss out on, or even you go without a week and you'd be surprised you don't really miss anything. I was in India again 2 years after that, and again I was in India when the Nepal earthquake happened, and I didn't have Wi-Fi. But instantly I found out about that. And the world that we live in, if it's really important, I believe you're going to find out about it. So don't worry if you're going to miss out on Facebook. The thing is, you're not going to miss out on anything. The fact is that you're actually going to gain more from not going on it. And don't be worried if you're going to miss out on things. From experience, I can tell you that you're not going to miss out on it. So for you, if you relate to a few things that I've said, why don't you try and look at extra resources? I've got a video below called Look Up, and it talks about why we need to move away from the screens and live the real life, and live life to the full. And life is for living. Life is living to the full. And I want to share with people that we shouldn't be glued to screens, and we shouldn't be addicted to technology. Things like Instagram and Twitter and other social media, you don't actually need those things. And I'd challenge you to maybe delete them for a month and see if you can live without them. And I challenge you to put blockers and boundaries and understand if you're addicted, or if you don't have any control over the things that you see. Maybe delete some people from social media that they post the wrong things, and they put things in your mind which you can't control. And life is for living, and I challenge everyone to live in the real world and not in the fake book of face.